Shalom, everyone. So good to be together. Welcome the Shabbat of peace. Welcome the Shabbat of pride. This begins Pride Month and Pride Shabbat in Los Angeles. LGBTQ Pride. And welcome to the Women's Reunion Shabbat. And welcome to Leadership Shabbat. It is a tough world to be a leader, but we Jews make it so easy, don't we? No, we're celebrating our leaders tonight. We're celebrating Shabbat. We're celebrating pride. We continue on page 11. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem
will become bat mitzvah tomorrow, and Gabby next week. I'd like to invite them to come up and light Shabbat candles with their family members. And while they're coming up, please find someone in the row in front of you, behind you, across the aisle. Introduce yourself and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Just underneath the bolded words, in the not bolded words.
On page 22.
Ya alo sadai, bechol asher bo ya alo sadai. Ay 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 ya alo sadai, bechol asher bo ya alo sadai. Ay 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 ay, atiranu kol atzei ya atiranu kol atzei ya atiranu kol atzei ya atiranu kol atzei ya alo sadai bechol asher bo ya alo sadai. Ay 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 ya alo sadai bechol asher bo ya alo sadai. Ay 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 ay, page 24. O zaruma la tzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. O zaruma la tzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. O zaruma la tzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. U'yishrei lev simcha. O zarua la tzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. U'yishrei lev simcha. O zarua la tzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. O zarua la tzadik u'yishrei lev simcha. La 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 la. La 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 page 29. Lecha dori likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela
Kevod Adonai,
that we've welcomed Shabbat Bride, we take a seat for the Psalm of Shabbat, Ma Gadlu Ma'asecha Adonai, page 32 at the very top.
Ma Gadlu Ma'asecha
Seated. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, O God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah and Hagar, and who bestows miraculous things to those who are open to your blessings. Send your insight and love to this community and our leaders as we approach and settle into change. Like Sarah, may we have the strength to continue forward, even if we are not sure where our path will lead. Like Abraham with his son Isaac, may we have the courage to turn challenges into blessings, even as we grapple with life's unmarked paths. Like Hagar with her son Ishmael, may we be granted a glimpse of what is divine, so that we may turn our fear into faith. O source of all who reveal Torah to our people, let us be open to witnessing your ways in our lives. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai
Page 38.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך
ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
And you shall love Adonai your God with all of your heart and with all of your soul and with all your mind.
Page 40, a prayer for the evening.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom.
Ve'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha.
Hashkivenu
Hashkivenu
Adonai Eloheinu,
Eloheinu
Hashkivenu
Leshalom.
Hashkivenu
There be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Thank you. La 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 ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם לדורותם ברית עולם לדורותם ברית עולם.
We'll begin together on page 87, and we'll continue silently through page 93.
יד ביד אחד עם השני, עם אחד עם לב אחד, כי כן אנו נדליק. Hand in hand with each other, one people with one heart, we will surely light. We will light a beacon throughout the world as one people, hand in hand, one by one. Surely we will light. These words describe so beautifully what we do here as a community and what is modeled for us by the leaders in our community. Our leaders are not only leaders in our Temple Israel community, but they extend beyond into the greater community, doing important work in the world, but always rooted in the Torah of Jewish values, in the Torah of living our values. Ki im en kemach en Torah, im en Torah en kemach. For without nourishment there is no Torah, and without Torah there is no nourishment. So it is to both our outgoing and our incoming leaders that I offer this song. Yad b'yad, echad im hasheni, am echad im lev echad, ken anu nadlik, nadlik mesuat olam, nadlika ke'am echad, yad b'yad echad echad, ken anu nadlik, im en kemach
with that sense of community, relying on one another for strength, for support, we want to direct some of that energy towards those in our lives, those in our community who could use a prayer of healing at this time. So if you are thinking of anyone who could use healing of body, mind, of soul, we invite you to either say their name out loud or to hold them in your hearts at this time.
Before we turn to our board members, I'd like to just take a moment to acknowledge all those who are not board members, whom we are also celebrating tonight. We wanted to honor not only those who have stepped into that particular role, serving on our trustees, our board of trustees, but those who serve on committees, as committee chairs, who volunteer in just so very many ways. So if you are one of those people, you probably got an email from us asking you to please come tonight so we can acknowledge you. Or if you didn't get an email, but you're one of those people, would you please rise for just one moment so that we can send some love and appreciation and gratitude your way. We rely on the work of each and every single one of you. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And now, if you are currently serving on our board, would you please come stand over here if you're currently serving on our board? Your board members, you're over here. And if you are coming on to our board, if you are about to become a trustee of TIOH, would you please come stand over here on this side? So our new board members, come on over here. You guys are over here. Melissa, Limor, Paulina. All of you know what sacred partnership it takes to make this place run. We are blessed to be the professionals, the staff who are here in our offices, doing our work, doing the best we can for this community. But there is no doubt that we could not do what we do. We could not come close to doing what we do without the incredible dedication of our volunteer leadership, our lay leadership, our beloved board members who give so much of their time and energy and love and dedication. They answer the call in so very many different ways. Just a few that I've asked them this year were like, could you show up and write a Purim spiel? I'd really appreciate that. Would you come on Simchat Torah and show our community that we can all read one line of Torah? We can acknowledge the whole year's worth of readings by doing that. And they have said yes time and time and time again. I want to say one more word about that, which is that to our current board members, We need you. We rely on you. We are so grateful to you. And to our incoming new board members, we need you. We rely on you. We are so grateful to you. An organization like this only thrives if some of the leaders know how we do things and some of the leaders come and ask new good questions. If some of our leaders have institutional knowledge and the cultural history that's so very important to us, and some of our leaders show up and say, hey, I've got a new idea. I've seen how something is done in a different organization, and I want us to try it. So it is this partnership that is so crucial and critical and beautiful, and I want to thank all of you. I'd like to ask one more group to please come join us, and that's our past presidents. You can stand wherever you want. Always. And I just want to add a word of profound gratitude to our leaders who have done so very much for us over these years and who continue to show up and care and love this community. I was deciding I wasn't going to reveal who it is, but I will tell you, I had a lovely meeting with Thelma this morning, and she came and she said, she didn't say, I want to tell you. I said, tell me about you and tell me about your time at TIOH, and she did. And then you know what she said? I'm ready to serve. I'm here to help however I can. And all of our past presidents come in that spirit, and it is so profoundly appreciated. We are going to have some more words when we get out there for dinner, and I have some more to say in particular about Heidi, but I'm going to hand her the mic in a moment. But before I do, I just want to say a word about Heidi and a word about Jill. I'll come here so I can see you too. And that is that in the Torah, there's a minor story where Joseph is looking for his brothers, and he goes out into the fields, and he says, have you seen my brothers? And this guy says, oh, yeah, they said they were going to Dotan. And he becomes known as Ish Dotan. And he becomes a major figure in the Jewish tradition, and all he really did was point Joseph in a direction. He was just this kind of bystander who said, yeah, go that way. But we never know how people are going to profoundly impact our lives. And sometimes it's those tiny little encounters where somebody just says the right thing or says something and really makes an impact. And it is so much more profound and so much deeper when somebody comes into your life and you decide to enter a relationship and you decide to get to know each other, and then you decide you're going to have this shared project. You're going to put your heart and soul into something together. So I don't want this to be about me, but I do want to take just one moment and say, Heidi and Jill, you have changed my life. You have made it richer and deeper and better and more adventurous and more Hollywood. And I am and always will be profoundly grateful to that. So you'll hear more from me later, but for now I'm going to hand you the mic.
Mari, is this on? Yes. Thank you, Rabbi Mari. I can tell I'm going to cry a lot later. It's just been an extraordinary privilege and an honor to serve this community for the last 2 years. And I'm so grateful to have been given that opportunity and the trust and the support that's come with that. This past Tuesday was our annual congregation meeting where I had the opportunity to deliver the president's report, sort of the state of a congregation report if you haven't been there. And there I expressed much gratitude for this exceptional community, our dedicated and tireless staff, and our remarkable lay leadership who we are honoring tonight. I won't repeat those remarks. You can thank me. But please again know how much I appreciate and value all you all do for this community. Tonight, though, before we turn our attention over to the future, to you, Jill, I do want to take a few minutes to honor those that are stepping down from their positions with me this year. In each case, they've left an indelible mark on this community, and I know without exception, they will continue to do so. First, Jill Gilbert, who is completing her 6th and final year as a trustee and who I've so enjoyed getting to know and developing a friendship with during our time together. Jill's service to TIOH far predates her term as trustee. When her almost grown children were in our schools, she created welcoming programs for new families, both in our ECC and later in our day school. She served on our Education Commission from 2011 to 2016, and as co-chair from 2014 to 2016. As a trustee, the word that comes to mind in describing Jill is thoughtful, both in her contributions, but also in the manner she supports everyone around her. When Jill speaks, it's always because she has something valuable to add to the conversation. She served on numerous committees and task forces, including our board, including governance, where she's helped shape many of the reforms we have implemented during her tenure. Fortunately, Jill is not leaving service at TIOH, as she will continue on as a member of the Hillside Council, where much to our benefit, she applies her professional expertise as the head of marketing committee. Jill, thank you. Please. Next, Sophie Sartain. Sophie. Anyone who knows Sophie knows how committed she is to Temple Israel of Hollywood and our community and the world around her. She is guided by such a strong moral compass and a true calling to Tikkun Olam. So her stepping into the role of Vice President of Social Action after serving as a trustee was a natural fit. And she's been a poised and dedicated leader of our social justice efforts, including our annual Christmas dinner, which she helped completely reshape during her time on our board. Sophie has had to play a particularly difficult role this year of helping to refocus our social justice efforts with the challenge of COVID and also transition our core team to new staff leadership when Rabbi Josie departed. And she did all of this with care and intention. We will miss Sophie in this role, but I'm thrilled to say that while Sophie is stepping down from the board, she'll remain on our core team and as one of our coordinators of that dinner. Sophie, thank you for your leadership, your guidance, and your friendship. And last, Lisa Hoffheimer, who joined our board in 2017 after serving as a trustee, stepped into the position as our Vice President of Membership Engagement. Or should I say fully immersed herself, because if you know Lisa, you know she doesn't take on anything she can't fully commit to and put her heart into. Before her current position, Lisa served in many important roles on our board, including helping advise the self-study of the congregation and co-chairing our nursery school director search committee and our interim rabbi search committee. During her tenure as vice president, she's revitalized our membership committee, chaired a task force to study our membership practices, and advocated for many of its recommendations, including a new kavod level of membership at a reduced rate available to those 70 and older and retired. The care she has for others is the reason why she can't be with us tonight, as she's tending to a friend with health issues, but we'll be sure to present her with her gift when she returns. And now, I have the distinct honor to introduce our new president of the Board of Trustees, Jill Cohen. I'm so excited to welcome Jill into this role and to know what a fantastic hands I'm leaving this congregation and this board in. John Rosove, our Rabbi Emeritus, always liked to say about each of the presidents that we were the right president for the time we served. Well, with Jill, I think she's the right president at any time. She's analytical, conscientious, and handles difficult decisions with the most even of dispositions. Not a surprise given her professional role as a family mediator and collaborative attorney in private practice. Jill has been a fully engaged Temple Israel congregant since moving to Los Angeles from New York in 2008 with her husband Josh Saltman and sons Felix and Isaac, who I know who are here. Both Felix and Isaac attended the day school and became bar mitzvah at Temple Israel. Jill was an avid volunteer in our schools and is an ambassador for the day school and a member of our Education Commission and has attended many of our women's retreats. Jill became a trustee in 2015 before assuming her current role as secretary. Since joining the board, Jill has played a critical role on our personnel committee, applying her professional expertise advising on our contract negotiations. In 2019, she was appointed to our senior rabbi search committee, where she served as co-chair with past president Bill Simon. And we all know how well that turned out. Jill is just an outstanding person and leader. And from the moment she was asked to step into this role, did so with the honor and intention it calls for. Jill, mazel tov, so thrilled.
First, thank you to our rabbis and to Shelley and Michael for helping us welcome in Shabbat so beautifully and for your tireless commitment to our community. And Heidi, thank you for that introduction. I know you're going to be thanked at the dinner tonight, so I won't spend much time doing that now. But I'll just say that you have done an incredible job steering our community during these tumultuous last 2 years. Your steady hand, your commitment of time and energy and heart were exactly what we needed. I hope that I can lead our congregation as capably as you have, and I also really hope that the next 2 years are easier and less tumultuous than the past 2 years, and I hope I didn't just jinx it by saying that. Okay. I'm honored to stand here before you. We have an incredible group of lay leaders who give of themselves in many ways, and TIOH would not be what it is without all of you. And so I thank everyone for their past and future commitment to this place. Many of you already know my journey to TIOH, and Heidi mentioned it a bit, but I'll share it briefly for those who don't know. I personally love hearing the story of how and why people are part of TIOH. So for those of you that I don't yet know very well, I hope to hear your stories. So Josh and I moved to LA from New York 14 years ago. Our boys were 3 and 5, and we immediately joined TIOH. Felix started kindergarten in the middle of the school year, and Isaac started in nursery school a few months later. I watched my boys grow up in our schools, being immersed in a Jewish experience that was both joyful and meaningful. As someone said to me when I joined TIOH, I cannot imagine a better place to raise a human being. Prior to moving to LA, my connection to Jewish communities was eclectic. As a child back in New Jersey, my family belonged to a Reform temple, but I attended an Orthodox day school. As an adult in New York, I belonged to a conservative congregation, and then to a Reconstructionist congregation, and then to a Reform congregation. I enjoyed the wandering and dabbling in a wide spectrum of Jewish experience, but since coming to TIOH, I have stopped wandering. Since TIOH is just right. As we know, TIOH is all about community in a way that is unique and special, and that has been our experience. In addition, TIOH is the best of what Reform Judaism has to offer. Immersed in tradition and also progressive, big and vibrant, but also intimate and personal. It's a place where we can celebrate God and struggle with God, and where striving to make the world a better place is a guiding principle. There have been many experiences at TIOH that have been meaningful for me, which I wanted to tell you about, but Roger told me to cut that part out to keep it short. I've learned he gives many notes. But I must acknowledge and thank Rabbi Michelle, who has been my rabbi and friend since we arrived, and has created and led many of those meaningful experiences, including beautiful High Holy Day Minyan services, the boys' B'nai Mitzvah, the family Israel trip, and the women's retreats. Also meaningful was the experience of serving on the Rabbi Search Committee. It was inspiring to meet with different candidates and learn about their backgrounds and their approach, and try to imagine how they might fit at TIOH. And as the process unfolded, it became clear that Rabbi Mari was the right fit for the many reasons that were highlighted at her installation a few weeks ago. Our search committee had a celebratory dinner last fall. At the end of that dinner, Heidi casually commented that maybe I could be president in the future. I didn't say anything, and I tried to pretend I didn't hear what she said. And Mari said, well, she didn't run away. So I mentioned that story because Rabbi Mari is a big part of the reason why I didn't run away. Being asked to be president is humbling and a big responsibility, and it is not something I imagined for myself. I've agreed to step into this role because this place means so much to me and to my family, and because I'm inspired and excited about the future under our new leadership, which involves being at the forefront of how Reform Judaism continues to evolve, and I want to play my part in supporting that. So Heidi, you led us through a pandemic as we transitioned to having a new senior rabbi and a new executive director. The stage is now set for us to move forward, to come together in person again, to connect with each other, and to envision and embark on the future of TIOH. I look forward to all of us working together. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I want to acknowledge two other leaders that are stepping off of their service. Heidi, I don't know if you know Elise and Abby, but they're also extraordinary leaders who are moving on to great adventures, and we are so grateful. You've heard of those too? Okay, very good. I would like to invite the past presidents to please come line up here, and our royal family, Eric, Evan, and Elise, to please open the ark as we bring out the Torah. It's our honor now to place this scroll through our incredible past presidents into the hands of our current president and our future president. And if you'll find this piece of paper, everybody here has a part, so look for your category. And here, in the presence of the Torah, we say, in ancient times, the people of Israel gathered in the courtyard of the temple, and the priest invoked God's blessing. These words, which have survived the ages, depend on new generations to make the old new and the new holy. As new and continuing leaders of our congregation assume their positions of responsibility, we call upon them to dedicate themselves to the sacred task of leadership and building up our community. Join Renee, please.
As officers of our synagogue, we accept the responsibility of listening to the ancient words of our tradition.
Our synagogue, the people of Israel, the state of Israel, and the people of the world.
And our new board members.
This house of God is founded upon the values of righteousness, truth, kindness, and peace. We recognize that ours is the responsibility to safeguard these values. We will strive always to bear witness to God's presence in the world.
And trustees to the sacred task of leadership, the successive generations of Temple Israel Hollywood leadership and boards have assumed since our synagogue's founding in 1926. Inspired by Jewish tradition, faith, ethics, and love, we pledge to continue to fulfill our people's covenant with God.
Together, we, the congregation, to serve us means to help us serve. We gather tonight to ask God's blessings that your leadership will be inspired by the best of our tradition. We pledge to share your service to God and the community by fulfilling our part of the covenant. Amen. Rabbi Michelle, Rabbi Calvin, would you please come join us as we bestow the beautiful words of our tradition upon our phenomenal leaders.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha vichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
May God bless you and watch over you. May God's face shine upon you. May God be gracious to you. May God's countenance be close to you always, with warmth and with love. May God grant you shalom, shlemut, wholeness, and peace. And we say,
Amen. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and be strengthened. I'm going to teach you something. Join me. Chazak, chazak. Chazak, chazak. V'nitchazek. Again. Chazak, 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 v'nitchazek. One more time. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. One more time. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. It'll come back. We have come from near and far to raise our voice in song. And the more we join in the refrain, the more we feel strong. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. There is a power in this place and time. It shapes the rest of our lives. For when we return each year, we find a truth we can't deny. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. As we sing, we link ourselves to those who came before. And we're one with all those yet to come. Our strength, it will endure. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. One more time. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek.
Now to page 292 for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Rita Adamski, Menachem Mendel Chaim Adler, Blima Buchblätter, Sidney Cohen, Harry Coltoon, Ann Evans, Sarah Feldman, Terry Fink, Rodolfo Garcia, Sam Gallant, Shannon Grossman, Jaden Carnow Garcia, Paul Hoff, Robert Horan, Bert Kirshner, Tadek Korn, Matt Levitt, Buddy Levine, Jeannie Littman, Sophia Chappie Marks, Percy Matenko, William McKenna, Donald Metz, Herman Meyer, Scott Milberg, Albert Pell, Bennett Rubin, Doris Schnelling, Arlene Turoff, Jimmy Wormser, and we are observing Shloshim for Hanoch Hank Barcon and Marilyn Piken. If I shared the name of a loved one, a dear one of yours, I invite you to please rise. We ask that Hamakom Yinachem Etchem, that God provide you with comfort and strength. If you are thinking about somebody whose name I did not read, somebody for whom you'd like to say Kaddish Yatom tonight, I invite you to please rise and share that person's name. I'll invite the congregation to please rise. We're on page 292. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash me'raba.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirute ve'amlich malchute. B'chaye echon u'vyom echon u'vchaye techol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kariv ve'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dam iran be'alma v'imru
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen.
Oh, say shalom. Imroma. Oh, say shalom. Bring peace down, bring peace down.
Addison and Gabby, would you come back up and lead us in Kiddush and Motzi, please?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'aha uvratzon hilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tefillah lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu b'cha ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashavat.
L'chaim. And then when you're ready, you can sit up. Take a sip. Take a sip of your juice. And you can set your Kiddush cup down. When you're ready, you can say the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us for dinner. One quick last word. There are a number of young people with us tonight. It's so wonderful to have you. If you're near a young person, give them an elbow bump and say thank you. That's why we do what we do. Shabbat Shalom, guys.